So the first division's matches were really exciting. So we're now into the second division, which is the Enthusiast division. So for the first match, we have Isvar against Jesus. So, Chisei, your predictions?
All right. So for Isvar's side, I chose a Flagbearer Glaciella Yurima Valet team. Chose it for the same reason I chose, a lot of my past ones. If I see no ice units from Jesus' side, then, I naturally kind of want to say a win team is pretty safe. Not only that, but Glaciella has pierce damage, which is not a very well resisted uh, type of damage, but especially so against Warrior of Light, which is one of Jesus' main tanks. So I think having that pierce damage is huge there. And then you not only that, but with the Valade support, you have the wind resistance in case Jesus wants to bring out Gargus or Edward, and send just Flagbearer, Glaciella, and Yerma together just dish out tons of damage. So that's what I have for Isvar's side. For Jesus, I chose Edward, Raldor, and Mary Luke. Just a classic strike team. Don't see any ice units from Isvar's side, so that lets Edward kind of run free in terms of an elemental counter. And then same thing with Old. He's a tank that is weak to strike, and that's like the main tank from Isvar's side, aside from Little Leela. And the high damage output versus a composition that doesn't have a whole lot of tank options. Like I said, the main ones are Old and Little Leela. Covered Old is weak to strike. Little Leela has plus 15 to strike, but being an SR unit really hurts that health pool. So I think just going with the classic strike composition would be a good way to go here.
All right, so let's look into it. So from Isvar's side, we have Olde, Glaciella, and Valade. On Yuzu's side, we have Uni, Bart, and Warrior of Light. So we have the little trick coming from Bart's.
Yeah, you got the Uni Bart's combo here, but we also do see what I mentioned here with the Pierce units versus Warrior of Light. So we have to see how well he's going to be able to tank these, because he might fold way too quickly. So let's see how he's built up here.
I really hope for his bar that his single target resistance is high, because otherwise he'd cry. We saw a lot of Barts recently, and the damage can get really high pretty fast.
Yep. Uni already coming out the gate with the arrow fall, negating any of that CT shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Valade use the ice vitalization. No ice resistance, doesn't matter here, but the protect definitely does.
So King Blade came from Warrior of Light. I think it's going to be key, because now Bart's could apply his buff, and Uni. Oh god.
My gosh.
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage, and Isvar's side is not in range yet to start. My goodness!
No, another round of damage. Glaciera couldn't even do his eye, and she couldn't attack.
Can't even commentate in time. Oh man, this is like I said, but Glaciella is a crazy unit. If there's anyone that's gonna carry this, it would be her. But oh my gosh, she's immobilized. That's so rough.
So Isvar going to go down without applying a single bit of damage.
It's looking that way. Yeah, it would take a miracle. We need every reflex in the world. Just Glaciella, put on your dancing shoes and reflex every single move from now on. And then
GG to Jesus. It was some really great preparation.
Yeah, like I said, that Bart's Uni combo is a really hard one to overcome, and yeah, just going off the start with the Uni being able to go with the Keen Blade, and yeah, being able to just take out the units from such a far range so early on was just, it's a hard composition to overcome.
So of course the key of the match, I think it was Bart's courage buff, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard just to say otherwise. Just being able to just take out those units with the follow-up attack right off the bat it was very crippling. It's a hard situation to come back from.
Yeah, because even if Glaciella was immobilized, I don't think she had the damage, because Warrior of Light, after his King Blade, was able to take another turn and go forward, so his team was in range. Uni was well protected.
Yeah, like I said, great preparation from both sides, and like I said, just great teams that I think were chosen for both sides. It was just unfortunate that it ended up playing out the way that it did with the immobilized and everything like that. So, like I said, it was great preparation and GG's to both players, and of course, huge congrats over to Jesus.
Yeah. Alright, so after a disgusting match, we have match number 2, Itomanpr against Iceheart. So, Chisei, your predictions?
All right, for my predictions. So my one for Itoman was a little obscure because I went with a pretty undercosted team. I went with Miranda, Little Leela, and Phoebe. Main thing is I wanted to make sure Little Leela's in the team because a lot of Iceheart's threats are magic, and I think just having that silence from Little Leela is huge. So I would almost treat Little Leela as kind of a carry. I want to get her in range. I want her to land her silence as quick as possible, and I think that would be a good way to victory versus a lot of Iceheart's composition. And so that, plus there's not any lightning threats coming out from Iceheart, so I think Miranda would be pretty safe from an elemental standpoint. And in case Iceheart wants to bring out the Elena, she does have guaranteed hit in her kit. So I think that team, even though it's a little undercosted, I think that team could put in some serious work. From Iceheart's side, because I noticed that Itoman has Little Leela, I tried to steer away from some of the magic threats. So I chose Alaya, Miranda, and Zazan. With Alaya, you can stay at a nice, decent range and have Zazan as kind of a tank up in the front line. Alaya lets you keep that distance and put in some serious damage. And then Miranda, you can have her just quicken Alaya right off the bat and just keep her pumping out the damage over and over just so that you can take care of the opponents before they reach your side. And then also having the magic damage from Miranda once she runs out of quickens to be able to help with a potential King Mont, because that would be the main threat I would see from Itoman's side if Iceheart does bring the Alaya. And so having Miranda to be able to take out that King Mont so Alaya can deal damage to the backline would also be huge.
Alright, so let's see if you're right. So from Iceheart side, we have Elena, Miranda, and Murmur, I think.
Yep, Elena, Miranda, and Murmur. So she looks like she might be going for that evasion sort of strategy, at the very least the double light.
On Itoman's side, we have Miranda, Rachis, and Little Leela.
So two of the units that I expected to see, like I said, Little Leela for me was almost a given with how many magic threats Iceheart's bringing. And then, like I said, Miranda's very good in this matchup as well.
I think that Itoman guessed Iceheart's roster right, because Aurora Blessing at first, and now we have Little Leela on the side.
Yeah, that is a good call. There's being able to have that light resistance and being able to mitigate a lot of the incoming damage from Iceheart here is going to be a hard hurdle to overcome.
We have a Rachis, and she's going to have re-raise for the rest of the match. Next is Murmur, probably a fast cast again. Now we have Miranda. Is she going? No, so Immortal Spirit.
Yep, there's a lot of survival buffs on both sides that are both online. So we should be about to engage here in the next turn or two.
So some evasion buff from Iceheart. So they're really group hugging, I think.
Yeah, I'm really scared. Really scared of the Little Leela silence, but actually she moved away, so it's not in the cross anymore. So let's see what happens here.
Oh, so
landed.
Iceheart didn't went with the silence nullify buff at the beginning of the match.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very hard to overcome from Iceheart's side. Like I said, Little Leela is definitely key in this matchup, and it's definitely showing why.
Does Murmur has some Yuzuna?
I think she does have it in her kit, but the question is whether she has it equipped.
So we'll see right now. So she is casting nothing.
Oh no.
I guess she didn't. Does Yuzuna can cure silence?
I am not. I'm pretty sure it can. I'm pretty sure it takes care of all those status effects.
So a race coming up from Miranda, but she's dead again.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And Little Leela with the 54 agility is going again.
And then she gets the silence again. So this is, like I said, this is all but done. Well, Elena did lose her. Oh, and the nice blessing, but the healing power down.
Oh, it's
It
too
didn't
late
heal as much
already.
as we needed. But Murmur's taking the damage. Elena looks like she might get a turn if she survives Rachis here.
And it's done,
But she does
unfortunately.
not. Well, man, GG's. Like I said, that silence is a very hard thing to overcome from Little Leela. It's as soon as I saw her on the roster, I knew that that was going to be the make or break of this match. So, yeah, GG's to both teams.
Yeah, the key of the match obviously is Little Leela.
Yeah, if we were doing key of the match, yeah, definitely Little Leela silence. It's very hard to overcome. It's very centralizing.
Man, you guys on the Enthusiast division, you're ruthless.
Oh, for sure. I'm scared for my future matches.
Give some space to breathe, man. Alright, so
Yeah.
GG to both players, and a good preparation from Itoman. Great
Yep,
first
and
win in Auto, because he's a great manual player, but it's his first time in Auto tournaments.
Yep, congrats to Ito, man.
So for the third match of the Enthusiast division, we have JB79 against Shadow 91. So, Chisei, your prediction?
Yeah, so for JB79, I went with a Perrine, Dea, McLeod team. Reason why I went for that is Perrine does incredibly well versus Rain. Rain has -30 to strike. There's the elemental advantage, and Rain is normally known for being a magic tank and not physical. So if Shadow brings Rain, Perrine will just demolish him. And also is decent against Jum too. Jum I think has a natural, like a 0 strike resistance, which I think all of her other ones are positive. With that, water is a pretty safe element. The only lightning is slime, so there's not really any threat there. And McLeod has elemental advantage against Jum if Shadow does bring her as a tank, and also works with the Dark Shiva VC. So there's that water ice synergy there. For Shadow 91, I chose Perrine, Tifa, Grace. Once again, predicting the Perrine mirror match. Once again, no lightning units from JB. So Perrine is a very safe unit to bring. Tifa has that strike VC synergy, which has proven itself to be very strong. And if JB does bring the strike team as well, Tifa would have the elemental advantage over Yrel. And then finally, he has a good roster of support units to choose from. And so I could see any one of those 4 being slotted in, but I chose Grace for the good sustain and just good AoE res on the heal, and the rest of her kit's great as well.
So from GB's side we have Mariel, Perrine, and Dia. From Shadow's side we have Perrine, Velis, and Uni. So let's see how it goes.
We finally get the Perrine matchup, but I did not predict the supporting units, so this will be interesting to see.
Yeah, well, if you get the main carry, it's already good. So from Perrine we have an AoE buff. We are healed back from the beginning. Agility up and the shield from Dia. So she's going to be bulky against physical. So Miranda, Protect and Vegas TMR, so she's going to be able to apply Berserk, which is
that will
really
be debilitating if it lands. Yeah, that will be almost game over if that lands.
So Uni is going to have plenty of AP. The team is pretty fast on the Villa side. So Dia going forward, she couldn't go any further because our unit was blocking the way. So Velis going forward, has nothing to do.
Yeah, looks like he's out of buffs, which is a little unfortunate because he's a little bit more in the front line where we want Perrine to be.
What is it doing? I didn't saw. Vortex kick. So Protect healing down.
Yep, it also removed the re-raise, so that's good. If we can get this, if we can get her down before she gets the chance to berserk, that will be huge for Shadow.
That unit did a lot of damage.
Yeah, I didn't even comment on that. That was 6,000, 7,000 damage.
6k, yeah.
That was wild.
So both Perrine aren't in the damage range. So
let's see,
Velis
it
had
matters
to
here.
go do damage. For once, Velis is doing something.
It's a Velis carry.
Oh, this time
So
his
that's
unit did less damage.
like I mentioned before. That was huge for Shadow because that means
Oh.
Mariel doesn't have the chance to
Oh,
apply a
she's
berserk.
alive. Uni's still alive.
Oh my goodness! Must be alive with like 1 HP. Look at that. Who knew Uni had courage in their kit?
So Helby's coming from Perrine, and Velis survived. Not Velis, Dia survived. So Velis
But it
coming
was-
next. Healing buff, of course.
Yep, but the healing power down is there, so Uni didn't heal for much, but Uni was going to die in the next hit anyways.
Dia's down, but she had re-raised. Uni's going next. She's going to have the same amount of damage of the first time. No, but it's enough to kill Dia.
Yep, and now it's Perrine versus the world. Let's see how much damage this Perrine does. Oh, hits all 3.
Oh!
Oh, the double kill. And now it truly is the Perrine mirror match.
Oh! And
Oh,
that's a lot
wow.
of damage. Oh, wow.
Wow. I was expecting her to do a lot of damage, but honestly, I wasn't expecting that much. That was nearly 10k. That was impressive to see.
Honestly, shout out to Shadow's side is Uni. First, she did a lot of damage at the beginning of the fight, killing that tank. But not only that, she was even able to survive and to absorb some damage on her side that could have went on Perrine or Velis.
Yeah, honestly, I completely wrote off Uni. I was even going to comment at the start saying that it looks like they put all their eggs in the Perrine basket with the Velis support with the haste. But then I saw Uni dealing 6k, and I'm like, wait a minute, I shouldn't write off Uni that quick.
Both of them wrote me after the fight. So they spoiled me that she had exactly 8 HP after the attack.
8!
8. So she survived with 8 HP.
Oh my goodness.
And knowing Shadow is using Bowtie on that Uni, so it's why she had a big impact.
Yeah, Uni definitely was a huge star of this game, which I was not expecting at all. That was very well played.
So well played, Shadow. You took on a really big client, and honestly, while play on GB side too, it was a really interesting match.
Yeah, like I said, it was one of the, like I said, like a lot of matches we've seen so far. It was one of the really close ones. It was down to the last hit. Honestly, I could have easily seen JB's Perrine one-shotting Shadow's Perrine as well. So it was very, very close.
Alright, match number 4 of the Enthusiast division, we have Ksaun against Chisei. So, since it's Chisei's match, I'm going to go with my predictions. So for Ksaun's side, Vega, Muraga, Dorando, Axe Team, I think that he wants something new, something interesting that he hasn't played before in a competitive format. So I think he is going to go with it only because of this. On Chisei's side, I think I will say Bart's Gilgamesh Zazan for the exact same reason, only because he wants to try this out and he doesn't care about the results. So, let's see if I'm right.
Well, we'll see.
So, from Ksaun's side, he's going to go with a mix of Greatsword and Axe. So we have Vega and his 2 Greatsword users. On Chisei's side, he went for full glove with Murmur because it's his only unit that's 40 cost.
Yep, and I will say that you are actually pretty spot on with both of us. Those are the teams that we want to bring, but we both want to lab them more. So you were actually you were pretty spot on with what we were thinking about bringing. But
So it was
this wasn't the
your
match.
first version, but not the final one.
Exactly. But I did go with the team. Like I said, the glove team, I wouldn't say it would be the most ideal, but it was one I really wanted to try out. So let's see how it plays out here.
So Rain with Erda Flutter for extra movement, and also extra single target resist. Viga's going for Courage.
Yep, so we got Courage coming out from Vega, and also we have Courage coming out from
with
Shetzel.
Courage 2 and heal back. So Murmur probably with a fast cast. Rain, Astral Guard, so for extra 8.
Yep, and Rain's already pretty far up forward.
So another
Helmet-
Courage, so it's going to be a battle patrician.
Yep.
Oh, and Magic Reflex coming
Yep.
from the
First hit of the game reflexed.
And now he has
But
the
you're
speed
right.
to go again. A physical shield coming from Vega. So now we
Yep,
have
so-
Chisei. Is he in range? No, he's not. So we have a Garvel for his second attack.
Yep,
So
he
it's
is in
going
range
to-
this time, and he's
Oh,
in
so
range to hit
it's
all
LB.
3.
So Garvel going full damage.
Yep,
Oh!
Ouch. Did nothing to the rain, but did pop Shetzel's courage. So that's a good sign and a bad sign all at the same time.
So Rain going for damage, did rely a little bit on Elena, who's not really known for magic tanking.
But did do more than I was expecting. So I was not wanting her to take that much damage.
But she also didn't do really a lot of damage on her side too.
No, this rain is incredibly tanky, and I am worried that I will not be able to get to this tank in time.
Oh, this is
I'm
big.
taking-
So Elena surviving with on a few HP, so our courage wasn't popped off, but now it's off. So now it's Garvel's side, and oh.
Yep,
So,
he was able to
big
take care of the
kill.
Shetzel, but Rain's still standing very strong, taking every hit from all of my team, and holding that hate.
Oh, okay, so Rain is down, but it's not looking good for the Ksaun anyway.
Yep, it's
Big
the
damage from
courage
Garvel.
pop.
Kenny Berserk though. If you can let magic reflex.
Yep.
Not going to matter anyway.
I was definitely scared right there because, like I said, I knew that if he took care of my Garvel, I was done for. Because Murmur would not bring it back.
Ooh. Oh, you had
But
re-raise.
the
I didn't
re-raise-
notice. Okay.
I was gonna say you're counting him out too early.
So
And
if you can
here it
land
comes.
that Berserk. Nah, I couldn't. That's too bad for him.
Yeah, and now it's gonna take a lot for me to come back from this one. But he gets to go again because
Oh,
he
he
stood
laughed.
still.
He laughed.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my
And
god.
I was like, please no, please.
Okay,
Murmur, do what you can.
now that's pretty close, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, the Murmur
That's
comes
a
in
lot.
with the last hit.
Yeah, there's also that elemental advantage, and Murmur is attacking. She's not like Velis, who is going to heal himself to death.
Right. So yeah, that match, like I said, was nail biting. Yes, in the very beginning, I was worried about the rain taking up all of my magic damage because he went very far into my team to the point where my main units had to turn around. So I was worried that, like I said, rain would just take everything up while my units just got withered down. And then, like I said, at the very end there, that Vega just lapping my Garvel to kill him was devastating. So yeah, that was, as always, a complete pleasure to play with Ksaun. That was our 3rd time playing, and every time has always been a complete joy. So yeah, it was. I doubt it'll be our last. Like I said, we're probably gonna. Our goal is to meet up again in playoffs, so watch out, other guys.
Yeah, you had
But,
your revenge because he beat you in the playoffs in WD.
Yep. I don't want a complete return of what happened last time, where I beat him in the early season and then he took me out in playoffs. So let's not let that happen again. I'm just kidding, but yeah,
So I
it
think
was
that
a
the
great
key of the match was a reflex.
Yeah, the reflex, like I said, the one on Rain, at first I was a little upset about. Then I saw how little damage he took later on. I'm like, okay, that didn't matter. The one that Garvel did.
From Garvel was more critical.
Exactly. Yeah, the one from Garvel. I got lucky there. I lucked out, but I'll take what I can get.
Also, Vega's not using his LB. Was a key that we didn't saw.
Yeah, that would have also spelt doom for sure, with both my units being magic damage dealers.
I mean, both time at the end I called it about if it was an LB, he's winning, but no, he didn't cast it.
Yeah. But
So-
yeah, it was, like I said, good games for sure.
Yeah, really good game. It was really exciting. I think it was one of the most exciting so far. Great job, guys. I was at the edge of my seat.
That Vega lap, man.
Alright, so for the 4th take, we have our last fight of the night. So Sandrooster against Ram9. So, Chisei, you can unmute yourself and go for your predictions.
Alright, so for Sandrooster's side, I predict something like Dwayne, Miranda, and Murmur. I would say Red Mage VC synergy, but I feel like that's kind of a given. So I chose Dwayne because he is a very good physical damage tank. And from Ramnide's side, there's not a whole lot of magic threats. And so I think in terms of like having sort of a tank, I think Dwayne would probably be the best choice there. Miranda and Murmur. I wanted to choose Miranda to kind of once again mix up the damage typing so that you have that mixture of physical and magic damage, and just between the both of them, having fast cast from Murmur and then having the quicken time mage stuff that you can do with Miranda can really lead to some creative mint and just situations overall. From Ram 9 side, I chose Alphonse, Ural, and Murmur. So for Alphonse and Ural, once again, Fist synergy is just so strong. And there's no real Earth DPS from Sandrooster. So there's Murmur, of course, which, as we saw, can dish out some damage. But I think for the most part, Alphonse would be safe. And also, that team comp with Ural would counter a potential Orlandu and Silma from an elemental standpoint. And then the courage removal from Ural will also help up in matchups such as like Starlight Elena. And then lastly, having Alphonse, as even though he can dish out some damage, he also is, a really good just tanky unit overall. So I think that would be a really strong lineup that Ram 9 could bring.
You see, I think that Ram 9 is going for Red Mage. He's going to prove that he's the best Red Mage user.
I was actually going to suggest that as well. I was like, I want to see that Red Mage mirror match, but I want to see what. I'm actually curious to see what they actually bring.
So I was wrong.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
We were both right about Sandrooster bringing Red Mage. So
yeah, at least.
Let's not pay attention to the fact that I was wrong on every unit on his side though. See Agrius, Silma, and Ferris coming out from Sandrooster.
So physical water ice team with Dark Odin.
Yep. And from Ram 9's side, we see Velna, Sosha, and Alphonse. So at least I got Alphonse right.
So Agrias going forward for the tanking, and Ram 9 self buff, of course. So we have our two tanks going forward.
Yep, getting that really important physical barrier up for Alphonse.
So a Dragoon self buff for our Lancer.
Yep, all the units, all the defensive buffs getting applied. Got some tanky units on both sides right now.
The Conking Blade coming from Agrias, not a lot of damage, but at least she has a lot of aid for the rest of the game.
One thing I'm really curious to see from Ram 9's side is I'm wondering if he went more for the lightning synergy or went more for the spear synergy, because right now I don't know if Alphonse is just going to be a beefy tank or if he's going to be putting out a lot of damage himself.
I'm curious, he went for Velne, and so we have two Dragoon on this side, so I wonder if he... I know we saw a lot of...
oh my gosh. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
I
a
didn't mean to
nice
interrupt, but I saw that one damage and I just had to say. Yeah, that definitely answers my question about that being a very tanky Alphonse. Let's just see how much damage it can put out as well. Oh, here comes Velna. See, oh wow, 5,000 against the tank is, yeah, 5,000 is actually, and she tanked jamming threats really well.
I mean, I think it's the level of damage that he expected when he brings the boost.
That's true, but yeah, I mean, there goes Sosha, unfortunately. So now it's a 2v3 over in Sandrooster's favor. But like I said, both teams are just incredibly tanky, so let's see how much damage this does to Alphonse.
So Ferris going for the healthy. Again, not a lot of damage to Alphonse.
But it's to be expected too. Like once again, he's a physical tank and that's elemental disadvantage, so it's actually a little bit more than I was even expecting. And then the basic attack takes out the Agrius.
So it's not going good unless Silma decides to finally rejoin the fight. Oh, but this one did a lot of damage. I think it was
It
the fourth chain.
it did do a lot of damage, and like I said, Ferris by herself is just a really strong unit. So, but
So,
Selma coming in and taking out the Velna means it is now a 1v9, 1v2, and Ram 9
heal
is
back.
the heal back is huge.
Really, because it's not taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, let's see. What it will really show is how much damage the Silma can do. Because right now he is taking physical damage like a champ. Oh, they're healed back again.
Yeah, we have two
But let's
units
see.
that likes to heal themselves after attacks.
That's true.
But
But
with
Ferris
the
is
Selma
out of
behind,
AP.
I don't know.
Yeah. Ferris is out of AP, so it goes.
Oh.
It lands the poison. That could be huge.
Poison could be huge. Yeah.
Oh man. And Alphonse is out of AP also.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, and he's not accurate.
Oh, the miss. Oh no, that means he can't regain any AP.
So we'll see if he has enough spirit.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
but
took
Ferris
2,000 from the last jamming thrust. Let's see how much he takes from this.
Paris is out of AP. So what's the... Okay, so there's still plenty of action left.
Yeah, but the poison is going to do a lot here.
Oh, Sandrooster actually came back. That
Yeah,
poison was really huge.
Yeah, the poison was very critical. And wow.
I mean, how can he get poison? He's a chunk of metal.
Very true.
Oh, GG,
Man.
a big win for Sandrooster. Really well played, honestly. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it was at disadvantage, but he still won this pretty good.
I felt like it was very even on both sides. At you know, there was a, I think at the very beginning with Sosha going down, it was a 2v3 in Sandrooster's favor. So, and then like I said, Ram 9 brought it back, and then Sandrooster brought it back. It was a very good back and forth match, and like I said, it was super close and really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I think I was influenced by the fact that Selma was really late for joining the show.
Yeah, that's very true. She did take
she
a
ended
minute
up
to get
being
into the
really
fight.
critical in the fight.
Yes, doing 5k damage to Alphonse was massive.
The key of the match was that Esper that did the poison on Alphonse, of course.
Yeah, it was a combination of that and the miss from the auto attack. Because with the auto attack hitting, he
No
probably
AP.
would have gained enough AP to be able to maybe use armored flash kick again and regain some health back. So, yeah, I probably would have to give the edge to the poison as well. That was definitely. I think the poison on its own probably did about 7,000 damage.
And I'm really sorry for the awkward silences in the beginning of the fight. I forgot the name of 2 units on the spot.
Oh.
So I was always trying to remember them, so I was blanking.
No worries.
GG for both players. That was a really nice and exciting last match.
Yeah, GG to both players, and congrats to Sandrooster.
So, Chisei, do you have some closing words before the standings?
I mean, I said it pretty much at the end of every video, and you know, it wasn't really intentional in the beginning, but I was just really enjoying pretty much every single match we watched.
Yeah.
I was like on the edge of my seat for many of them. They were just genuine reactions of just, I can't believe some of these things happened.
Yeah.
This entire tournament is just filled with just great players. So just naturally, when you have a bunch of great players playing against each other, you're going to get some pretty wild things that happen in the match. So it was really good to see.
Yeah, I really like the format so far. I think that the rules are so ugly that it allows really a much more creativity. And because of that, we have some outstanding fights with very various combinations, combinations that we're not used to see. And it really gives a great show because I really feel that now the teams really are even on both sides, and both players can predict the roster of the enemy, and really because of that it gives really great and tight fights.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for, you know, other people here, but I know at least for myself, when trying to prepare for my match, going at it from just a purely elemental perspective was just very difficult. So at some point, you just kind of have to do your best and bring units that you know very well and that you
Mhm.
think have a really good chance. And I honestly really like that about the format. It feels like there's a little bit more freedom in terms of what you can bring
Yeah.
because you really can't predict what the opponent's going to bring. So, yeah, I really like the format and I think it works very well. Personally, I've been enjoying it so far.
Yeah, me too. And it's especially true for Sandrooster side because of his Red Mage cast. You absolutely can't predict this.
Yeah, no, you have no idea what he's going to bring. All right, here are the standings. Because this is the first week, it makes the standings very simple. If you won, you have 1 point, whereas if you lost, you currently have 0. But we do have a tiebreaker point system in place. Tiebreaker points right now are based off of how many units you had alive at the end of your match. So in the case of McCrane, Itomanpr, and Jesuslbl, they both had 3 units alive at the end of their fight, so they have 3 points. If you only had 1 unit alive at the end of your fight, such as in the case of Alcor, Greatestness, myself, and Shadow91, you only have 1 tiebreaker point. So based off of that, here are the current placings. So for the blind division, in first place we have McCrane. Tied for second, we have numero 80 in Turnbar. Tied for fourth, we have Alcor in Greatestness. Tied for sixth, we have Manta and Rindel. Tied for eighth, we have Johnny B and Malganman. And finally, in 10th place, we have Unhindered. For the Enthusiast division, tied for first, we have Itomanpr and Jesuslbl. In third place, we have Sandrooster. Tied for fourth, we have Chisei and Shadow91. Tied for sixth, we have JB79 and Ksaun. In eighth place, we have Ram9. And tied for ninth, we have Iceheart and Isvar. Since this is the first week, those standings aren't necessarily indicative of where this placing will end up in even just a couple weeks from now. But it is a nice little head start for those who are able to pick up a win this week. And with that, I just have a last closing word, which is when Numero came to me with the idea of this tournament, it was just a small tournament between guildmates. And with that, we were able to get about 6 people to sign up. And, you know, with 6 people, we could have ran a little tournament, but Numero 80 reached out and found a couple more people to kind of make it an even 8 players. And then he kept reaching out and saying, well, what if I reached out to a couple more people? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, don't worry. They'll be chill. They'll be cool. I'm like, okay, sure. And then that turned to 10 people, which then turned into 20 people. And at some point we had to cap it off because this is our first tournament and I didn't want to get way over our head. So all that is to say, you know, we have a lot of very passionate players. And not only that, we have a lot of very good players. If you look at the lineup we have right here, these players are just fantastic players and more importantly, fantastic people. You know, that was one really important thing that Newer and I both kind of agreed on, is that we wanted the tournament to be very chill. We wanted to make sure that it was kind of filled with people that we've had positive interactions with, and that we're just, you know, that the tournament was just a very lighthearted, fun thing to kind of fill space between WDL. We still want it to be competitive, but, you know, we wanted it to most importantly be a fun experience for everyone involved. And I think looking at the names I see right here, I feel like we really hit that goal. So thank you everyone for signing up for the tournament. Thanks for participating. And it goes without saying that this tournament wouldn't be anything without you guys. You guys are creating the amazing, interesting fights, and more importantly, just the amazing sense of community that we have in this tournament. Thank you all once again for everything, and best of luck in your future matches. Take care.
So for the third take, we have the last fight of the night. Fuck! Oh.
I'm just gonna mute. Oh man. Okay. All right, I'm gonna mute.